This is the next series on Defend America First speeches that were given to the nation prior to World War II and our entrance into it. Tonight I'm going to be reading a speech that was given by Senator Robert M. Follette, F-L-O-O-L-E-T-T-E Jr. of Wisconsin, and it was delivered over the C.B.S. network September the 11th, 1940. By Robert M. La Follette, Jr. One reason I feel so strongly about the course of which our country has embarked is that I have seen this tragedy before. I feel as though I had walked into a movie only to discover that I had seen the picture years ago, under a somewhat different name and with a different cast. During the 1916-1917, I was one of my father's secretaries. As many of you remember, he fought to the last ditch to prevent involvement of the land he loved in the European war of his generation. Fortunately for my education, I was close to the historic battle which raged in Washington. Its full tragic meaning burned into me for life. Old war, new slogans. As I sit in the United States Senate today, the words that are spoken and the things that are done here in Washington have a tragic ring of familiarity. Some of the words and the slogans are different, but in spite of new phrases cooked up by the best propagandist in the business, we are going step by step down that same road we took in 1916. 1970. They really got their hooks into us big time on that one, and then on World War II too. They made money off us and and they are in just about every situation now. But anyway, now to continue, you and I love our country. The overwhelming majority of us want with every fiber of our being to do what is best for this nation. We sense with that true instinct which God has given to people in times of great crisis that the decision we make will be of world shaping importance. This is the reason why we are more worried and our souls are more harrowed than ever before in our lifetime. We want above all else to choose the right course. We have a fundamental and catastrophic decision to make, and we must make it now. We must decide whether or not we are going to war in the old world. Or change the words around, people. It is a tragedy. This is propaganda of jitters section. It is tragic that we cannot make the most important decision in the history of our country with clear heads and steady hearts. But our emotions are aroused because deep down inside of all of us, save for a few Bundists and communists, there is a natural loathing and aversion for the brutality of the dictators, no matter what their colors. We detest their methods and their objectives. We are shocked by the horrible ruthlessness of total war. Propaganda in the movies, over the radio, in the press, and by word of mouth seeks to play upon our emotions and to shape our decision. For various reasons, fear and hysteria are being fomented. Jitters are being cultivated in the hope that people will not be able to think straight. These efforts we must resist, for they are designed to becloud our reason, and if successful, will end in disaster for our country. I appeal to the people who do not want our nation plunged into the Holocaust, not to be sucked along the road to war by easy stages and false reasonings. Hocus pocus for debts. The process of switching the signs on the road to war began a year ago when the people were told that repeal of the arms embargo would make our neutrality more secure, although the interventionalists knew it could only have the opposite result. Once the interventionalists got the arms embargo repealed, they were not satisfied with opening our munitions market to the Allies. The next step in their program was to turn over arms, ammunition, planes, and implements of war from our own Army and Navy. These included deliverable types of war equipment. Their most recent move was the famous destroyer base lease deal revealed when the administration generously notified the Congress that it had just traded 50 American destroyers to Great Britain. We could have had these bases in exchange for the old war debt. See, they're still talking. This is World War II, remember? Just before World War II. And they're still talking about the debt from World War One. That's still looming over their heads. It's a monster. It's a beast. That's the way they do it. They got the right words: crisis, situation, and solution. Uh, just on a different matter, you got to look at how we are in our minds, what we are exposing ourselves to for information. We need to be responsible people to only consider those things worthy of actually giving attention to. All right, six. Okay, I'm good on time. All right. The hocus pocus under which American destroyers equipped with the latest protection devices and armament became obsolete and overage should not deceive us. Under the definition, 50% of the combat vessels in the United States Navy could be declared overage, and yet we know that our Navy is the first line of defense. Fraudulent labels. Unless we stop in our tracks, there will be no end to the policy of taking everything that Britain wants and labeling it surplus or overage and obsolete. Now, we're talking different countries now receiving different things. We could go to cash money outright, this new tax and cap trade. It's there are I don't think a sane person can keep up with all of the laws they passed every year. I wonder if it was over 14,000 new laws this year. Who knows how many they made? How is a normal person supposed to keep up with that? That's obscene. Why make it hard? Okay. All right. Fraudulent labels. Unless we stop in our tracks, there will be no end to the policy of taking everything that Britain wants and labeling it surplus or overage and obsolete. The next step after overage destroyers will be middle-aged battleships. Then it will be youngish cruisers. In the end, they will be calling for our right-aged sons. You and I have been told for months that this nation must strengthen its defenses, must build an impregnable military machine capable of protecting ourselves from any aggressor or combination of aggressors. And you and I have agreed wholeheartedly in this mission, in this session of Congress alone, I have voted for more than $15 billion for the upbuilding of our national defense. Defend America first. But all the while, we are voting more money to prepare to defending this hemisphere against all comers. We are dissipating strength by sending huge quantity of guns, planes, and warships across the ocean. Now the interventionalists are demanding that the latest type of planes and tanks, our secret bomb sight, and other indispensable war material to be sent abroad. There are tragic lessons written over the ravaged soil of Europe, lessons which we must learn if we hope to escape the fate of the conquered democracies abroad. And the most powerful lesson of all is this: national defense does not consist alone of arms, munition, and trained manpower. It requires just as much a nation and a people whose social, economic, and spiritual house is in order, and ours is not. All right, I'll continue. Hopefully, this one will process. This is the third one, no, fourth one I've made.